A great deal of good was accomplished by the Protestant fathers, but some things required for original Christianity could not be reformed back into existence. It's not possible to reform a corrupt institution and recover the original. Wishing, studying, hoping, and working to recover original Christianity is a task beyond the ability of theologians. For that, it requires God and someone who is sent by God to do the work. New World reformer Roger Williams was considered a dangerous heretic who fled from the colony of Massachusetts when facing arrest and imprisonment for his beliefs. He founded Providence, Rhode Island, where he established the first Baptist church in America. He was an abolitionist and opposed slavery in America. He learned to speak Native American languages and thought they should be treated equally. Williams was born and educated in London, but fled to the American colonies because it was dangerous to hold unorthodox religious views in England. When Alexander Leighton published a book critical of the Anglican Church, he was sent to prison for life, fined £10,000, whipped, his ears cut off, his nose slit, and his face branded with a hot iron. This convinced Roger Williams to leave England in 1631. His anti-Anglican views were unwelcomed in Massachusetts, resulting in him relocating to Rhode Island. Reflecting on what he saw when church and state power were combined, he conceived of separating church and state. He wrote, "When they have opened a gap in the hedge or wall of separation between the garden of the church and the wilderness of the world, God hath ever broken down the wall itself, removed the candlestick, and made his garden a wilderness, as at this day." These words inspired Thomas Jefferson to later coin the phrase wall of separation between church and state, which was the reason underlying the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Roger Williams became convinced that there was no possibility for recovering original Christianity without God's direct involvement. He wrote, "Christianity fell asleep in the bosom of Constantine, and the lapse in bosoms of those emperors who professed the name of Christ." This sober reflection led to his conviction that freedom of conscience was necessary to allow every soul to search for and accept all truth they could find. He declared, "There is no regularly constituted Church of Christ on earth, nor any person qualified to administer any church ordinances, nor can there be until new apostles are sent by the great head of the church, for whose coming I am seeking." Without God directing a restoration of the original faith, it had been lost and could not be recovered. There was too much that had been lost and too little that had been kept. The conclusion Roger Williams reached was the correct and inevitable outcome from the beginning of the Reformation. Reform could and should lead to restoration if God would return the essential missing parts.